I thank you all for coming back to Rainbow Push this Saturday, and I ask for your continued prayers for my father and his travels to Korea to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. Peace is possible, and we just simply have to believe. Not just believe, but have to work towards that peace. I am as disturbed as you from the recent events of this past week. In California, we saw a young teenage girl, 18 years of age, Nia Wilson, her and her sister stabbed by a man 27 years of age. An African-American young lady, beautiful, stabbed by a Caucasian man. I don't want to say simply deranged, but certainly sick in the head. Then we go all the way to the other end of the country in Clearwater, Florida, where we see Markeis Mcglockton sees his wife and his child being harassed by a gentleman who walked up on the car to investigate. What does he think he is, a sheriff or something? So upset, so angry, that someone that did not have a handicap sticker on their license plate was in a handicapped spot. And this is his pet peeve. He is known in the community for being a tyrant. He starts hollering at a woman. Her husband, hearing what's going on, steps out of the mini mart, confronts the man who was at his car with his children in there, and pushed him. The man then falls to the ground, grabs his gun, as Markeis, 28 years of age, took 4 steps back and was shot in the chest. The officer in Clearwater, Florida, the police commander, now says that that man had every right to shoot and kill Mr. Markeis Mcglockton. The last scene that his son of 5 years of age has seen is his father dying, and the police department in Clearwater, Florida, says it was justifiable under stand your ground laws in Florida. Brothers and sisters, I see a cloud of low expectations. A cloud is forming of inferiority for our people on their expectations for justice. That is a problem when our children get ready to go back to school. Children have to be school ready, but the school also has to be ready to receive our children. Our children are seeing senseless murders of persons that look just like them, and there's no justice. Last week we had the prolific minister from Baltimore, Reverend Todd Urey, tell us, no justice, no peace. He's had an overwhelming response, and we've asked him to come back this week and further expound upon that message. Our children don't see justice. They have a diminished expectation for justice. What am I asking of each and every one of you? We have to bring our children out. We have to teach our children how to stand up and make America better. America has never been great, but we can make it better until it is great and works for all. Our children don't believe. Our children are giving up. Hope is not dead. And I don't want our children to simply graduate, matriculate, get a degree, and not have any willpower, not have any intestinal fortitude, not have any fight back, not have any hang on, not have any grit, not have any understanding that we've come a long way and God is not through with us yet. So for the Markeis, his family, and a child that cannot wake up this Saturday morning to be with their father, for a police department that lets this man walk the streets. We saw this with Trayvon Martin, Brother Al. And I simply ask us, what are we waiting for? Why are we so parochial, so provincial, so myopic, so narrow-minded and singular focused. What are we waiting for? It to happen to us? If it can happen to Markeis in Florida, if it can happen, Brother Antoine in California, you and I could be next. Now, I'm not just an advocate for the law enforcement. I don't want to fix the blame. In closing, I want to fix the problem. What is a solution I would like to see happen? I think racism, in the words of Albert Einstein, is a social disease. We need to get the Center for Disease Control involved and do a head check on a lot of people that go around and murder African American men and women. Someone would say, Brother Jackson, that sounds outrageous. I can't believe that. It is a highly sociable, communicable, and it ought to be classified as a venereal mind disease. What makes you think you're better than me? What gives you a superiority complex? And on the other side of that coin, we need to ask ourselves, what gives us an inferiority complex? Sometimes I show up in a place and it's all Caucasian men. Sometimes if I were to go golfing, they think I'm one of the caddies or the aides. If I go to a banquet, they think I'm supposed to be part of entertainment. I go to the airport, they think I'm supposed to be in baggage handling. I don't have a complex. I can do each and every one of those jobs. But if I'm to sit in first class, I also have high expectations to get all of the services and rights that I paid for. Let's move on up a little higher, brothers and sisters. And if not for yourself, think beyond yourself. Think about your child. I don't want my child to see the front door wide open. But because they have a diminished sense of justice, a diminished sense of expectation, because they have a low sense of self-esteem, with the front door wide open, nothing but opportunities, they'll hold their head down and find their way to the back of the building. And where there is no door, they will chisel and bop and knock a hole in the back of the door because they think they belong in the rear.